Hi everyone, welcome to Instagram School Day 3. Today is the day for caption creation. So you're going to learn how to create engaging captions, and also you're going to be able to learn all of these strategies and apply them to any type of copywriting, any type of sales page, product page, or blog post, anything. You can apply these two. So I'm going to show you some strategies, and I am going to show you my frameworks as to how you can create engaging captions. So let's start. Instagram School Day 3, caption creation. All right, so the objectives are discover the different frameworks to engage in captions, learn how to strategize your captions, and understand the importance of call to action. So let's talk about clarity and why it's important. Clarity is important for pretty much anything in your business and your marketing, but in order to create any engaging content, you have to clarify your target audience, your target audience's pain points, their mistakes, and your solution to these, and the goal that they want to achieve. So please make sure that you are very clear with these 5 points. The first thing we're going to talk about is the hook. You'll remember from school, every story has to have a beginning and a middle and an end, right? So hook is the beginning of your post. Hook is the first 125 characters of your caption. And this area is the area that is visible right under your picture, under the graphic post, and before you click on more. So that's why it is very important, because your goal is to make audience click on more to read and engage. Here's my AOA framework to an engaging hook. What is AOA? It is ask, object, and attract. So have at least one of these strategies and use them in your hook. What is the ask strategy? This is how you start with a question, and a question about your audience's pain points and goals. So here's an example. Are you afraid to niche down because you think you will lose other customers? Do you want to know the formula to making natural skincare products without molding? You see, in both of them, I am asking a question. And if you are a new entrepreneur who is struggling with niching down, or if you are a skincare, if you're in the skincare business and you're worried about your products molding, these are the questions that will get your attention, because these are your pain points, right? So that's why we are asking a question when we start. Or another one you can do is to object to a common belief or myth. You know, there's a bunch of industry myths or things that people believe to. So object to one of these, and this will basically grab their attention. And a couple of examples are why most eczema relief creams don't work. Or another one, hustling is a scam. You don't need to hustle to become successful. So think about it. If I am a person with eczema and I have been using different creams, I've been buying them from the store and using different creams, and I'm still suffering from eczema, I'm going to engage with this because I want to know the way, right? The way to cure my eczema. Or if I am a new entrepreneur, all I've been hearing is to hustle, 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 and work hard, 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 hard. And I am saying that this hustling is a scam and I know a better way. So if you're an entrepreneur who is working hard to become successful, now you're going to engage, because of course, who wants to work more, right? You want to work less for more. So these are going to grab your attention. And another one is the attract. You can start with attracting your relevant audience with something that would interest them. Like, get rid of eczema with 3 steps, or 5 steps to turning your followers into clients. Again, you will engage. If you have eczema, you'll engage. And then on the second one, if you're going to engage, if you're a new entrepreneur who want to make more sales, who's looking for more traffic and engagement on social media. So let's look at some formulas for the hook. So that's why I first write down your target audience, the solution, the goal, pain points, mistakes, so that you can just plug and play here, of course, depending on what you want to talk about. One of the formulas: are you afraid to blah, blah, blah because of blah, blah, blah? Again, use your solution and talk about their pain point. Want to know the formula to goal? How to achieve blah, blah, blah in 3 easy steps. Or 5 things you're doing wrong as a blah, blah, blah. Top 5 mistakes to achieving blah, blah, blah. I made a mistake when I did blah, 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 and I failed. So just fill in the blanks for all of these blah, blah, blahs, depending on what your niche is. Now we're gonna jump into body, because now we grabbed their attention and they clicked on more. So now we gotta give them some more. This is where we're gonna give the value portion, right? So body, basically the whole post, the entire caption creation process is copywriting process. It's basically the same strategies that you use so that you can achieve your goal. Basically, what is copywriting? It is the act or occupation of writing text for the purposes of advertising or other forms of marketing. The product called copy or sales copy is written content that aims to increase brand awareness and ultimately persuade a person or group to take a particular action, right? And this is the reason why we're doing the social media marketing, unless you have other reasons, but I'm talking to the entrepreneurs gain more visibility, engagement, and make more sales for their business. This is the reason why you are posting anything you're posting, any of your posts, any of your blogs, sales pages, product pages, what have you. You eventually need to persuade your target audience. So this is my first framework to the body portion. This strategy is called future pacing, and my framework is EVE framework. So what am I doing? I am first going to empathize, and then I am going to make them visualize, and I am going to energize my audience. So let's look at it. This is the empathize portion of the body framework. So we're going to empathize with where your audience is right now. What does this mean? Showing empathy. I know you're tired of getting traffic but no sales. So you're empathizing because you've been there, right? You've been there, and this is the empathy part. And now there is some type of connection, right? And then you can use these formulas. I know you're exhausted of blah, blah, blah. I know you're sick of blah, blah, blah. I know you're tired from blah, blah, blah. Something, a pain point that your audience has. Use it with that. Or you can use their pain point with, I remember when I struggled with blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to continue. Or you can say, I see you're doing blah, 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 but still getting da, 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 da. So these are all showing your audience that you're empathizing with them because you've been there and you've done that. And you do have something that may help them. And that's why we're going to go to the next one, which is visualize. So we empathize, now we're visualizing. Make your audience visualize where they want to be. This is basically where they want to be when they have achieved their goals. You can continue with, imagine 6 months from now and you started making consistent sales. Yeah, let me read some more, right? So here are the formulas for that. Imagine 5 years from now and you have accomplished or know the key to blah, blah, blah goal. What if you had the solution and this happened, right? These are the things that you're making them visualize where they want to be. And now they're relating more. They are thinking about where they want to be, and they are hoping that you have the answer to it, which you do. You're going to give them value. And the next portion of the framework, next step of the framework is the energize. This is where we energize our audience to take action. And we are going to talk about energize portion towards the end of the class. This is basically, you use energize for any of the body frameworks you see, right? Because the energize portion is your call to action. And we're going to talk about call to action and second call to action. So again, going back to the EV framework, we're going to empathize with them. We're going to make them visualize where they want to be. And we are going to energize them to take action. Next framework, after your hook, you can use my CIE framework. What is this? This is where we're talking about scarcity and FOMO. So once again, in copywriting, scarcity and FOMO are a couple of the strategies. FOMO means fear of missing out. So scarcity and scarcity and FOMO is basically making people feel the urgency. So CIE framework, let's look at it. We are going to talk about the contrast. We are going to intrigue them, and we're going to energize them to take action again. So if we look at here, this is basically information from marketing books, right? In consumer behavior and in marketing, there are 3 group influences. You have your aspirational group, you have your associative group, and you have your dissociative group. Aspirational group is the group that your audience want to relate with, the group that your audience want to be like, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, obviously aspirational group would be the successful entrepreneurs that are making 7 figures, right? Or 8, 9, 10 figures. The next group is the associative group, and this group represents your ideal client. This group is your target audience. This group is the audience that they associate with. This group is the group that you always relate with. And of course, aspirational you relate with as well. And the next group is dissociative. What is this? This is the group that your ideal client don't want to be a part of. Like your target audience do not want to be this. So let's look at the aspirational group. I'm sorry, dissociative group. What can that be? If you're an entrepreneur, obviously you don't want to be associative with a broke entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who, doesn't make any sales, right? So that's your dissociative group. The entrepreneurs that don't make sales is the group that you dissociate with. So in my CIE framework, the first step is contrast. And the contrast is exactly that. This is the contrast in between the groups. You're going to show the contrast in between these 3 groups we talked about. Let's see the aspirational contrast. Difference between successful entrepreneurs who make consistent sales and side hustlers who are trying to figure out how to make more sales is, and then you're going to continue. Now I will want to read more because I want to know about what the successful entrepreneurs are doing so that I can achieve the same goal, so that I am not making the same mistake. And the next thing is, there's a reason why some people have flawless skin and some have bumps. So now if I'm a person who has bumpy skin, then I will want to read even more because I want to see what the people, good skin people are doing, right? To get my skin better. So you can use the formula, there's a reason why, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then you can look at, do you want to know why some women wash their hair once a week and some don't? Again, you're comparing, right? You're showing the contrast, and you will show the contrast. This is how you start. Do you want to know why some blah, blah, blah achieve the goal and some still has this pain point? That's what you want to talk about. Let's look at the contrast in between associative contrast. Associative group. This is how we can do it. We can always, again, relate with them and say things like, as dog owners, we need to stop washing our dogs and start cleaning them with natural products that won't make them stink. So now this is basically telling you that I am a dog owner as you are, and I can relate to it, and I do have a better solution to the mistake you're making. And the dissociative contrast could be reasons why you will end up joining the new mom team who cannot lose the baby fat are, and then I'm going to talk about this. Again, you just are making me read more, because if I'm a new mom, I don't want to be in the baby fat mom group. So I'm going to read this to see what mistakes I'm making and not to make these mistakes again, right? And the next, we're going to continue with intrigue, right? After we show the contrast of the groups, we're going to intrigue them. So this is the continuous or body section of the captions. Intrigue your audience with the best practices of their aspirational group. Because why? If I want to be like you, then I will want to see all the good things that you are doing to be like you. So you can think about successful entrepreneurs don't waste time Googling tutorials. They hire a coach to save time and money. So we can talk about the aspirational group, not making this mistake, and what they're doing, the solution, instead to achieve their goals. Or you can talk about this happens when this happens, right? You achieve your goal if you have this solution, if you do this solution. You keep making this mistake, you will still suffer from this. Or you can do when they do this, they do that. Again, when you do this solution, you're going to achieve your goal, whatever it is. And it can talk about because they know the solution, they solve their pain point. So just think about those things. Next framework we're going to talk about is the OMCE framework. This is where we're going to talk about risk aversion. So people tend to avoid pain more than seeking pleasure. Think about this. People tend to avoid pain more than seeking pleasure. This is so true and very deep. Yeah, we really spend more time and energy into avoiding pain than seeking pleasure, than doing pleasurable things. So that's why if you write captions that paints the picture of what your audience would lose if they don't take the necessary action, then this becomes something that they're going to be interested in, right? Because they want to get to the desired result, and you're letting them know, hey, this is what's going to happen if you just keep sitting there not taking action. So on the OMCE framework, we're going to talk about outcome. We're going to talk about misconception. We're going to talk about the cost, and we're going to end it with the energize framework again. So let's look at the outcome portion of our OMCE framework. Here is where we talk about the desired result our audience wants to achieve, or the desired result that they're not achieving. So we can say, do you want to start selling products without a website? Do you want a solution without the pain point? Or why you still cannot turn your traffic to sales? ... Why you still can't go? And then we are gonna talk about the misconception. Talk about the misconceptions that your target audience has and the myths that they believe. An example is, a common misconception of entrepreneurs is that they think they need a perfect website to start a business. A common misconception of the target audience is that they think that that making this mistake is going to help them achieve the goal. So you got to play with the words a little bit. And a mistake new entrepreneurs make is buying followers on Instagram. A mistake I see the target audience make is the mistake, blah, 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 whatever the mistake is. And next, we're going to go to cost. We're going to explain what is costing them to keep making this mistake. So here's an example. Why you keep losing time waiting on building a website? You lose on the email list you could have built. When you make this mistake, you get this point. You get this pain point. Or when you buy followers, you do not get relevant and engaging audience, and you don't make sales. What happens when you make this mistake is that you get this pain point and it gets worse. So if we look at the beginning of the OMCE framework, we're going to piece together one of each step. So look at the first example of the outcome, and then we're going to piece it together with the misconception and the cost. So here's how it sounds. Do you want to start selling products without a website? A common misconception of entrepreneurs is that they think they need a perfect website to start a business. When you keep losing time waiting on building a website, you lose on the email list you could have built. So it makes more sense now, right? And then you're going to continue on some more, build a few more sentences, maybe some bullet points, and keep going until you get to the energize portion of your caption, which is the call to action portion. And let's talk about energize. Energize is my two-step framework call to action. So there is the call to action that we are going to have the short-term engagement. And then there's going to be a PS, which is for the long-term relationship building. So let's look at some of the examples of call to actions. You can say, tag a friend for social sharing. You can also ask questions like what, when, where, why, who, how. And this is for more specific answers and to get quality comments. This is something you can use in your market research and for quality engagement. You can also say leave a comment. This is to boost engagement, or double tap. Again, this is to boost engagement by making it a no-brainer. Yes, it needs to be a no-brainer sometimes because people are not just scrolling through their feed and just double tapping everything, right? So that's why you need to kind of ask them or tell them, let's say, call them to action of double tapping, right? But this is no brainer. They don't have to click any button. They're just going to be double tapping. Shoot me a DM is another example, and you can say this is for relationship building and to offer some help and support. Again, this is another one that is good for quality engagement. And you can say share with a friend. This is for social sharing via the DMs. The difference between tag a friend is that you are basically tagging your friend on the comments of the post. However, if you share it with a friend, that means that this is going to go to them through the DMs. And again, DMs are part of the algorithm. It shows quality engagement. So make sure to use them as much as you can. Another example of a call to action is write a specific word if you agree with blah, blah, blah kind of deal. So ask them to just write a specific word, because sometimes somebody may agree and they don't know what they may want to say. Or you can say comment with an emoji, again, for easy engagement. When you are putting these call to actions in your captions, think about one thing. Yes, liking and the emojis are good engagement, but they are not as valuable as real comments. So try to think of getting the engagement going uh, and try to get some more valuable engagement. So these are these are the examples of the call to actions. There's definitely more. And if you can think of more, or if there's a specific one that you'd like to use, let me know in the comments. And the PS step of our Energize framework is going to be where we are looking for more long-term engagement and relationship building. So a couple of examples here is PS. If you want to learn how you can start your marketing campaign without a website, check out my free training, link in bio. Or if you need help brainstorming about finding your niche, send me a DM. Another one, if you need a self-care journal to balance out work and play, sign up to the link in my bio to get a free self-care journal. So that was the end of our frameworks and the call to action portion. I want to talk about some of the tools that I actually like using that makes it easier for me. One thing that's important about your captions is you need to write short and easy to read paragraphs. And using line breaks is important to make the read easier, more user-friendlier for the people who are reading it. So you can use these top two links to get line breaks. Let's say you just typed it all up in the Word document, and then you just want to use the line breaks. You can just copy and paste from your Word document to one of these apps, and it's going to give you your line breaks. Now, why do I like doing this, or why do I like using these tools? Because this is the way I content batch and keep everything stored already, ready to go and ready to post. One of the things you need to think about is you do need to be consistent. This is something you've been hearing in every training, every class, every webinar, every tutorial, every video you've been watching, right? The consistency is the key. And in order to be consistent with your social media posts, and this is about any platform that you can think of, not just the Instagram. If you try to post as you go along throughout your day, you're not gonna be consistent enough. It's just life happens, right? You may not be consistent throughout the day. Also, after a while, you're gonna start slacking and you're not gonna be posting a schedule for the days of the week or how many times a week you want to post. That's why it's very important to content batch. So what I use is I draft all my captions in the computer. I find all my visual content like graphics and videos and edit those all in on my computer. And I store these in one of the apps that I'm going to talk about in a second. Or actually I store these in I use multiple apps, multiple different tools for different content calendars, but I basically store everything in one of these apps so that if my content is scheduled and if let's say I'm not using a tool that auto post, I just have a scheduling system. This way I can just copy and paste everything and they're ready to go for me, right? Already in this app, and copy and paste the caption, put the visual, and put your copy and paste your hashtags and you're good to go. And it's easier to post. So you don't have to worry about it. This is not even going to take you 2 minutes to do that. So that way you can keep consistency. And trust me, this is what all the content creators and successful entrepreneurs, any social media managers and digital media marketers, um, they all use some of these tools, um, at least one of these tools, to make it easier and make it more consistent on them. Another thing um, is a emoji tool. This is a Chrome extension. Why do I use this? Again, since I drafted on my computer and just keep it ready in the app that I use, I make sure that my emojis are ready to go already. Since there's no emoji keyboard on my computer, I prefer to use the Chrome extension. That way I can put emojis in my captions no matter, where I am creating them. For me, it is difficult to just keep putting emojis in the spaces and the line breaks on my phone. Um, I just gotta keep going back and forth and the keyboard and all of that stuff. So I don't want to do that. I make it easier for myself and use these two tools. Next is the one of my content calendars or content batch tools, I should say. I use Airtable for content batching. I store all my titles, captions, graphics, URLs, and hashtags in here. I also make sure to put the status if it's published, if it's scheduled, if it is in creation process, so that I know and I'm not double posting stuff. But this is a very good tool. This is a project management tool that you can use for so many different things in your life, and they already have pre-made templates um, for different uses, and you can look at those and start a template for yourself, or you can start it from scratch. I also have a video showing a short tutorial of how I make my uh, content calendar on Airtable. So make sure to watch that one as well. And the second tool on the slide is um, the website that I use to convert my words to hashtags. Sometimes if I have my hashtags on a Word document or notepad or something like that, because sometimes I just do my hashtags from my keywords. I just copy and paste the whole group of hashtags and um, into this tool, and it just puts the hashtags in front of all of them instead of me going back and forth and putting a hashtag in front of each 30 hashtag. And the last tool I want to tell you about is the closed caption app for videos. It's called Threads. This is only available on your phone. Um, if you go to your App Store, you will be able to make a search, say Threads, and you will see it is an Instagram app. So you will see it is pretty, you know, easy to uh, easy to make the difference because it is an Instagram app. This tool is used for your videos. If you are posting any videos, I always tell you to have captions on the videos, and this is basically making it a lot easier for you by putting the captions as you speak. Then you can go in and you can edit it if you want to, or you can just leave it and it's going to basically put the closed captions for everything you say. And again, this is an easier way of putting captions on your videos. And next is the homework. This is the homework I gave to my Instagram school students. And you can look at this and make sure to create a content calendar and content batch everything so that you are ready to go. I will see you on the next day of Instagram school, which is the last day of the Instagram school, where we're going to talk about some very important algorithm hacks and a couple of different platforms to schedule our content. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And you can always DM me on Instagram at KARMADNA Life. And I will see you soon.